Hello and welcome to another edition of Investing for Generations. And today I want to talk about my biggest position in my current portfolio and what will be a hype stock like Tesla, Apple maybe. But it's not, and as you maybe know already, I'm more like a conservative investor, and therefore maybe a little bit surprising. It will be Scotiabank, the Bank of Nova Scotia, ticker BNS. And in the following video, I will explain why I invested in this bank and why it's my largest position right now in my portfolio. I will go through the financial numbers, I will talk about the management a little bit, about the history of Scotiabank, and then I will come to a conclusion and will explain why I think Scotiabank is a very good base long-term investment. So let's go. But before we start, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment. Thank you. The Bank of Nova Scotia, or shortening just Scotiabank, or well known as Scotiabank, has a very long history. It was founded in 1832 in Halifax. It's the third largest bank in Canada, behind the Royal Bank of Canada and Toronto Dominion, and has around 60,000 employees right now, with a revenue of around 35 billion per year. What makes Scotiabank a little bit different from the other big Canadian banks is that they are also international engaged. They are engaged in Latin America and in Asia, and but the main of their earnings and the main of the revenue comes still from Canada. But as you see here on this screen, also there comes something from the Pacific Alliance and a little bit from the USA too. And so they are well diversified, I would say. And this is really a difference to the other big Canadian banks. But then dive into the financial numbers of the Bank of Nova Scotia. Right now, BNS pay a very high dividend yield of 6.47% with a payout ratio of 68%. And when we look to the dividend growth and to the dividend growth rate over the last 5 years, this doesn't look very exciting. But this is just the one side of the coin. The other side is that the Bank of Nova Scotia increased the dividend in 43 of the last 45 years. And they pay a dividend since 1833, almost 200 years now. The revenue of Scotiabank just grew over the last 5 years around 6% per year, which is a good number, I would say, for a big bank like Scotiabank. So that's fine. And they still work on solid high margins, of course, with the low interest rates over the years now, and for the foreseeing future too. There's a big problem for the banks to make money, but here Scotiabank still nice margins. Even the net margin is still over 15%. And also the returns are still quite nice. The return on equity is still over 10%. And the return on investment is also at 8.25%, lower than in the past, but still on a good level. Also, the balance sheet is solid. The debt equity ratio is just at 0.35. The current ratio is just a little bit over 1. That's okay, but that's not the number I'm looking for normally. But that's fine. I think they don't get in trouble anywhere soon. And what I really like is that the shareholder equity rised in the last 5 years, very stable, for around 5% per year. Then take a look at the management of the Scotiabank. The current CEO of Scotiabank is Brian Porter. He is very long in this company. He worked there in 1981. this is almost my birth year, so he really stayed there for a long time in different positions and just worked his way up. So you can be very sure there is a strong relation between the bank and Mr. Porter. He's the CEO of Scotiabank now since the 1st of November 2013. And this is also a long time, and this is long enough to just look what did the stock price on this time span. And we can see here when Porter took over as the CEO, the stock price of the Bank of Nova Scotia was around $60. And right now, of course, after the March crash, it's way lower. But what we also can see, there's a lot of volatility, and in the end, there is no rise of the stock price. I don't like that. I don't know what tells me that about the management, but we'll see how this continue. And what we also can see here on the chart is how much the share of Scotiabank crashed in the March crash, as many bank stocks. Then take a look at the current price. The Bank of Nova Scotia currently is traded at 41.56, and my calculated intrinsic value is $53, so the margin of safety is quite a bit. It's 21% right now. And my buy price at different times, as you can see with the arrows, is in average at 38.51. I bought at different times my shares. Some of them is just the reinvestment of the dividend. And so over 2 months or so, I just built my position, which is now the largest in my portfolio. So what's my conclusion then? With the Bank of Nova Scotia, we have a bank with a long history, with a very long and stable growing dividend, which is undervalued right now, as I showed you, and which is a global player, which is different to the other banks in Canada and have maybe some more reward, some more potential. But I had this also as a minus, because of course with maybe more reward, there's also more risk. And when you see how hard, especially Latin America, is hit by the pandemic right now, this could be a problem, at least in the short run. In the long run, I think it's very good they have skin in the game in Latin America, in Asia. That's good. I like that. The other problem all banks are facing right now, of course, are the low interest rates in the past, but also now in the foreseen future. This makes it very difficult for the banks to earn money. Of course, also the recession and maybe depression looming could be a big problem for the banks. But the Bank of Nova Scotia is very, very stable in the financial numbers. And so I think they will go nowhere. And so at least in the long run, it should be a very good investment, even more with the discount I got with my buy price. I have a lot of faith that I can have a good return over the long term. I would say between 6 and 10% per year. That would be fine for this base investment. And yeah, we will see how this turns out. Right now, it's the biggest position in my portfolio. So for the moment, I think I will not add more, even if we are still under the intrinsic value. But of course, if there's another crash, it's very likely that I will add even more shares to my current position. Then let's take a look in my now completed portfolio. So here we are. Here we see my complete portfolio with all my positions, and we can see that almost all of the positions are in the green, which is nice. At all, as a complete portfolio, I'm very happy how this performs so far. And then we can also take a look at the diagram of the proportion of my portfolio. And you can see that the Bank of Nova Scotia now is the biggest position with a little bit over 8% of my portfolio. And this is well diversified. And as I mentioned before in some videos, I think there are just too many positions. With the exception of Wells Fargo, I'm very happy with all of them. So there's no need to sell some of them. We will see how this continues. So then just take a look at the performance of this portfolio. As you maybe already know, I started this portfolio on the 2nd of December. So we are now already exactly 7 months into it. And the outperformance to the S&P is a little bit over 15%, which is a good result, I would say. It's just a short term, and for me as long-term investor, 7 months is really not a real indicator, but it's fine so far. So after I finished today to show you all of my positions in my current portfolio, what's next on the channel? In the future, I will of course update you on my current portfolio, and I will show you analysis of all the stocks on my watch list. This will come out every Wednesday. And the other thing I want to do is every Saturday I want to make an analysis of one of the top Robinhood traded stocks. So this will be my Robinhood stock of the week, and this will be every Saturday. And of course, if something happened in the market or it needs an update on my portfolio because I bought or sold something or something extraordinary happened, of course I will make a video as well. So that's the plan for the future. I hope you stick with me on this journey. I'm very happy so far and very excited. I got almost 80 subscribers already in 4 weeks. That's nice. I never expected that. So thanks for the people who subscribed already. So that's it for today. Subscribe, ring the notification bell to never miss another video. And of course, if you liked the video today, give me a big thumbs up and see you the next time. Take care. Bye bye.